All right, welcome back, everyone. We're here with Michael, and he won last week, right?
Last week, yep.
Okay, with Trash Can Frieza. The glare is crazy, but there we go.
Well,
That's Broly. now we're no glare. So tell
yeah,
us how this
okay.
deck works.
So the deck works revolving around Dark Broly Unison, Doria, and Healing Pod.
Okay.
So you want to play, Dark Broly on turn 3, and usually you want to save your Awaken, so then you're going to Awaken. So
Later, bro.
before you even play Dark Broly, you're looking for your Frieza Pod and your Dodoria. This is what you're searching for on your first turn. You milligan, you want to see these 3 cards. This is what gets you going, and the rest of the deck's just
Which
kind
card's
of
the most important card? If you
any of these 3.
mulligan, any of those
Like,
three,
you
as long as
see,
you see one
as
of
long
those
as you
three.
see one.
Okay.
Ideally, like you can operate just on these 2, because like that just recycles your engine. This allows you to draw cards, so then you're not just losing, value.
Just drawing for free.
Yep. So once per turn, you can draw a card when you bring back a green card.
So I take it those are all 4 ofs.
Yeah. No, actually, this is only 3 of because you
Okay.
don't want to like these want to see.
You
the
don't want to
one
see a
off,
late
and
game.
then, yeah. And then as a leader, this is what makes the Dark Broly Unison really good. Is because once per turn, you can choose a Frieza Army card. So basically, when you +2, you ditch the Dodoria. The Dodoria comes back from the drop. You draw yourself a card, and then he allows you to basically place the Dodoria in the drop, and then give your Unison crit and rip a card out of your opponent's hand by your choice, which is really important because it's not their choice. So they can't just drop a.
So you get to pick a card. You get to snipe their hand.
And then also
Swing with the 20k double strike crit.
double strike crit
Yep.
every turn.
Yep.
And basically, you just draw a card, rip a card, 2 cards out of your opponent's hand with 1 energy. Because this card, for 1 energy, returns to your hand as long as you have a Unison on board. And then this Unison is really hard to kill. So now, that's the whole deck. This is, now we play 4 copies of, Dark Broly.
Yep.
These off the side for now. He's just, best green Unison in the game, like hands down. There's just, when it comes to a slower paced game, he's just that good.
Yeah, he's nuts.
Yeah. Like if it's fast paced game, I would say Deborah or whatever is the better Unison because he's just survivable. That's how you remove barrier. He also allows you to play for 5. Clear their board, -5, rip 3 cards out of your hand, say GG. Then you play.
Does this ever get any games for you or no?
I hardly ever get to play it because
Yeah.
my opponent's like down to 2 or 3 cards, and you're like, I can do that just by, doing what I do every turn.
Yeah. Just using your Frieza engine.
You played for Dodoria because you need to see it.
Yep.
Like I said, he's your recyclability. He allows you to play your engine. He's the gas for the engine. You play Demon God Deborah just to facilitate just an extra rip card of your hand off of the Unison at your opponent.
It's a different one.
No, it's not.
Okay.
No.
Is that a different one on?
Just a choose a dark Dragon Ball.
Okay. Yep.
Add to your hand. 4 rebrand. Because like sometimes you don't have the 1 drop, and you need something to discard. This card really works well with Frieza's Army Healing Pod, because all it cares about is it being a green card, a green battle card. So you pay 1 in green energy, you draw a card at the end of the turn, play it, draw another card off your Healing Pod.
So you +1.
You +1.
It replaces itself.
Everyone's playing, the 8 that comes out you send it to drop for 1 energy.
Yeah, and it's a big 15k blocker.
Yep.
So you can't minus it with.
Not easily.
Yep.
Bupo, your hand destruction. This card's broken.
Yeah, it is.
Like when your opponent's hand's low and you say Bupo and they're like, okay, and you're like, well, your turn's over.
Yeah.
Um,
Just stops people in
Rosie,
tracks.
because you don't have enough attackers, so you need more. Rosie just discard 2, triple attack.
And deflect.
Really good against blue. Sometimes you just need to beat down a Unison that's just standing in your way.
You probably don't even need this to beat blue, but still, it has deflect. Just
Freeze, 3 Friezas. You don't need 4 because you're playing, your Unison on turn 3. So in all honesty, you don't need it.
yeah, no, I agree.
FCR of choice. I think the best green FCR in the game. When you tap 2 energy, you get to play it from your hand, and then your opponent you can't attack with battle cards. So it's just another, stop your opponent from attacking. Now you can still unison by minusing 2 markers. You don't normally want to do that because you don't want to lose your green unison.
Yeah.
Now, let's say like you're being aggressive, like you're looking, your opponent doesn't have any cards in hand. You're like, I still need a double striker. Well, you can spirit boost and take like their blue unison, and that thing has double strike.
So, the boo.
Yep.
Yeah.
It also allows you to draw a card.
Yeah.
Science 2. I wanted a way to
This card hasn't been played in forever.
Yeah, overwhelm, double strike allows you to finish up games. It ain't that good anymore.
It's a 1 energy 25k double strike that draws 2, right?
If you have the
so plus
the mirror that's just like this, that untaps 1 draws 1. So basically, it's the same thing, but it's a 30k and it's a 5k combo. I would recommend playing it over Scientist Fu. I just can't find mine.
Yeah, you did have them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I bought 2 of them. Android 18, Bionic Blitz. You don't have much options for super combos in this. You can play the Zarbon super combo, I believe, or something like that, and it's just a draw 1, generic draw 1. I like just ripping cards out of my opponent's hand.
Yep.
So that's what I choose. And plus, you draw when your engine's going, you draw a crap ton of cards.
So you don't necessarily need the super combo that draws cards.
You don't. Yeah. And you don't have access to draw 2 super combos. Yep. So, take the other best super combo. The 1-star ball, just to have it. There's no reason not to.
Because you got the Deborahs and you got the
Deborahs.
Broly. Yep.
Broly. This allows you also to have something to discard. Or you can just hold on to it because it is a 5k that you can activate.
But that you almost get to rebrand your opponent basically for no energy versus 2. So yeah, as long as you have the Broly, you can sit out and play.
Yeah. Healing Pod is just part of the main deck. I don't recommend playing 4. 3 isn't usually enough. You usually see it. Now if you don't, it can be rough because your hand does get smaller. But that's okay.
As long as their hand's smaller than yours.
Yeah. Now you're playing against yellow Icarus. It's rough.
Yeah.
Without Healing Pod. Dormant. So, think about Dormant, and same thing with Bupo. They say draw a card. Or not draw a card, but they say discard a card. So, you can discard your 1-drop. That card comes out to play, and you draw a card. Okay. So, you don't lose any value.
You don't neg from doing these, technically. You just stay even.
And these are just turn enders.
Yeah.
So, you're playing 8 turn enders in the deck, so you don't lose value. Normally, you would. So, your hand doesn't really get, you lose 1 card out of your hand, but you get a card on the board with this, or 2 cards on the board with this, and just 1 card with that, so you don't really lose too much value out of them. And they're both turn enders. There's no reason not to play Dormant, every turn if you have access to it.
With Pod out, like you said, you're not negging to do either of these effects.
Now, if you don't have Pod out, it hurts, but it's okay.
Yep.
And then, just a great, rip 1 card of your choice out of your opponent's hand.
Big swing with Broly.
Mm-hmm.
Or
you can't get it to
or
Broly,
anything. Yeah.
But you can rip something out.
Oh, yeah, you can't give it to Broly because you have to pick a battle card, right?
Or leader card.
Correct.
But that's okay because, you can give your leader 15k. Make him a single, 30k. And you're trying to go for a game where you're like, well, that double strike crit, they have 1 card in their hand. No negate.
How many cards are you playing in the deck altogether?
52.
52. Okay. Any cuts you would make, or are you like
the only thing I would change is again the Fu.
Just the Fu, 2 Miras.
Yeah, I would actually consider doing taking the 1 Fu out, just put 1 mirror in, and maybe put Champa in or something.
Double strike.
Yeah.
Double strike that
so
leader.
So you can swing a leader and because most cards can't interact with leaders. So.
Do you remember any of your matchups?
I do. My first matchup was King Cold.
Round 1?
That was actually a pretty rough matchup. Because, he can be aggressive when he wants to be. But, again, the deck is super defensive when it needs to be. So I think I just put, Bupo a couple turns.
Did you 2-0 King Cold?
I 2-0 every matchup.
Nice.
And that was probably my hardest matchup. My main goal was to keep the Unison on board. But eventually, once I got his hand down to 1 to 2 cards, and he didn't have any more fields and no battle cards because the deck just does actively remove battle cards with the Broly. he doesn't really do much after that.
Yeah.
So, like, again, the Broly can help deal with the Unison, because it just does double strike, and he's only a +1 on his Unison.
So that was probably your roughest match all night, you
Yeah,
would say?
it's kind of aggressive.
Okay.
And
So
then Bulma is super easy.
Is that what you play round 2?
Don't attack their leader.
Yeah.
Just, like, wait. And, like, let them draw their cards, wait.
You just keep...
And then you turn 3, and you just turn on the hand control. Just rip their hand down to 0, double strike crit their leader, and they just lose. Like,
you played... What'd you play, 3 rounds?
Played 3 rounds.
What'd you play in the final? That was probably pretty easy.
That was just, like, the deck's good, but it's not good against green.
Yeah.
And this deck is super defensive again, but it's also got, like, just a based hand control.
Yep.
Ripping abilities. So
if you want to beat up any blue deck in your area, would you recommend playing this deck?
If you want to beat up any blue deck or any green deck that's playing hand control, it will beat the crap out of Cell.
Yeah, it does. It's really good against the mirror match. The green hand control mirror matches as well.
This is really important. So when you're looking at a green mirror match, and you have, Healing Pod with your Unison on board, because they're playing the Broly Unison, they're looking at turn 3 to start ripping cards out of your hand.
You talking about Cell Surge? The deck I play? Yep.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not any, outside of Dark Broly, but even Dark Broly, it's a rough matchup for them, because, like, so these 3 cards, on their turn, they're like, discard one, where you're like, okay, I discard this and draw a card.
Yeah.
And like, it's,
basically, I think the way it breaks down is they have to pay energy for you to discard stuff.
So, and then
where you can keep looping stuff for free.
You just keep looping this card back to their hand.
So you get to make them discard cards with no energy investment beyond the initial energy investment.
So basically, you just keep returning this to their hand.
Yeah.
And don't be super aggressive. Use your crit on your Unison to do all the work.
Yep. And then if you want to discard extra cards, you have access to the cards that they have too, like
Unison,
rebrands or Rosies.
The Unison crit is it's literally your heavy lifter.
Yep.
This engine, once it's going, there isn't much to stop it. So
unless they can get rid of that field card.
Or you can get rid of you can break through the Unison, the deck will crumble on itself. If you're like people show up with this deck and you're like, how do I beat it?
Kill the Unison.
Kill the Unison. Don't worry about the life.
But with the format slowing down though, there's not. It's kind of getting hard to kill Unisons.
This here doesn't get its skills to return back to the battle area if there's no Unison on board. And if they're not getting this card back to the field, they're not drawing cards. So
true.
The deck's just kind of just folds on itself.
All right. Well, once again, here's Michael. He went 3-0 with this
Trash
bad boy,
Frieza.
Trash Can Frieza, and I'm sure we'll see you again soon. Once again, everyone, thanks. Bye.